Hello and welcome to another episode of PT with Dr. C. Today we're going to be going over some ball skills. So we're going to be doing catching and throwing and some dribbling. But it's important to get prepared before you do ball skills. So if you haven't prepped already, some things you can do to get started are some resistive pushing and pulling activities, maybe some animal walks like crab and bear because they require your upper body to work, not just your lower body, or trying the balloon activities video. So that's great for visual motor prep as well as some coordination prep, depending on what goals you and your therapist are working towards. Okay, let's get started. Aside from the warm-ups we just talked about, just gonna do a little bit of a warm-up. He's gonna do some clapping and watching where his hands are when he's clapping, so he's incorporating some visual motor with some bilateral to get his hands ready to catch. Forward, up, down, side, side, diagonal, diagonal. Good job. So you can go through that a few times. You can repeat that a couple times just to get your kids warmed up and ready to catch. Okay, next thing you're gonna do, Zach, is grab the big ball and he's gonna do some self-tossing. So he's gonna throw it up like a pop fly and he's gonna follow the ball with his eye and catch it. So it doesn't have to be as high as Zach. Go ahead, a couple more. But it just gets you warmed up, getting your eyes moving in a different direction. And because you're doing the throwing and catching, you have a little bit more control. Okay, try a smaller ball. Go ahead. Good job. Good job. All right, stop. Okay, now we're gonna do a progression into a bouncing activity first, bouncing the ball first. It gives kids more cue because they hear it and it slows down the ball. So it's a great beginning activity. Go ahead. You can even practice having them bounce a couple times in a row. So doing a pattern, 1, 2, catch. 1, 2, catch. If you're also working coordination. Another thing you can do is use a smaller ball. A bigger ball is obviously easier than a smaller ball. A closer distance is easier than a further distance. And then again, that bouncing is easier than just a tossing activity. So we're gonna do some catching without, with a bigger ball first. I'm gonna tell Zach to get his hands ready. We're not gonna treat it like traditional basketball. He's just gonna get his hands in a position where he can catch a bigger ball. So get hands ready. Good job. Keep your eyes on the ball. I do a lot of that as well to kind of remind them where their eyes should be. Good job. And then you can progress to a smaller ball. Another opportunity that you can do for ball play is having them work on a target, so not just you. So I usually do that with a smaller ball. So if you want to get the wiffle ball. So it can be me, or sometimes I draw a pattern, or we'll use some kind of target. So we might start with underhand and then having them work overhand. The cues that I use are hand behind your ear, step, throw, and they know they have to step with their opposite foot. Sometimes I'll even put a spot down there so they have a visual cue. So maybe using some chalk to just let them know. Catch, hand behind your ear, step, throw. One more time. Hand behind your ear, step, throw. Next, we're gonna work some dribbling. So dribbling is a common goal that we have for kids as they get a little bit older, and you would do the same type of prep activity that you did before. So upper body work, whether it be animal walks, resistive pushing or pulling, even some hanging. Those are great ways to get your upper body ready. We're also starting with the bounce catch before we work into the dribble. So go ahead and bounce. We're just gonna bounce and catch to each other. Just to get used to bouncing the ball. Again, you can use that pattern of doing a couple bounces as well, just to kind of work on timing. And then the first thing Zach's gonna do is just start to bounce catch to himself. So go ahead, Zach. Bounce catch. Good job. And then once he gets good at that, we've worked our bounce catch to each other. He can do the bounce catch to himself. Then he's gonna start to practice with one hand. Okay, stop. And then you're gonna have your child practice the other hand. They might only get 1 or 2, but it's just that progression. And then the next thing that you'd start to do, if they can do a couple in a row with each hand, then you're gonna have them alternate. Go ahead, Zach. 1. Okay. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this helps with your ball skills at home. See you next time.